Everybody. We haven't met. My name is Craig Griesbach. I'm the Director of Emergency Services with the Nevada County Office of Emergency Services. Just really a quick welcome and thank you really from me, and then I'll pass it off to get to business here. But really, several years ago, I started learning more about Firewise communities, and I was really inspired by the volunteerism and everything that gets accomplished really through that grassroots effort. In my opinion, you have more value and you provide more value in our community through your engagement, through your volunteerism, through your efforts than any other entity in the county. And so knowing that is really what inspired this program in the first place. You know, we didn't know if it was going to be a success or a failure or what it would look like, but you all have really made it a huge success, and we've been able to build on it as a second program. But we're not only just building on this program, we're also taking this approach and weaving it into other future grants and opportunities moving forward, just because of the success we've had. Moving forward with that, we're trying to bring as many resources directly to you as we can, just because you can use them where needed most. You can stretch the dollar, you can get a lot done, and we recognize that through all of your efforts. So really, congratulations to all of you being selected for grants. This is a really cool thing. It's one of the, definitely probably my favorite program that we have, even though it's a smallish amount of money compared to some projects, but it really goes a long way, and really look forward to seeing the work that you are able to do with these moving forward, and really thank you for everything that you do. Again, I think you can contribute and provide a lot more value to our community than any other entity, including us, and helping make it our entire community safer. So thank you. And with that, I will hand it back off to Josh.
Great. Thanks, Craig. So my name is Josh White, and I'm an analyst in the Information and General Services, and helping out with this project for OES. So I'm really excited to talk with you all today and get to this point in the project. So we're going to kick off with our first agenda item. We're going to do introductions. Then we're going to have Alex Keebletool, she's the Senior Administrative Analyst for OES, cover a little bit about project safety and talk a little bit about collaboration opportunities that we're hoping that you all will be able to benefit from. And I'm going to spend about 5 minutes just going over the project reporting requirements, which all that information was in your application, but I'll just review it pretty quickly. Jessica Carr from SBC is here, and she will talk a little bit about gathering some information from you all shortly. We'll give an opportunity for questions, and then we'll wrap it up. So it should be a pretty easy meeting. And just as a side note, if we don't cover something that you have a big question about, or you weren't able to get a question answered today at the end of this meeting, feel free to send an email to oes@nevadacountyca.gov. So I'll drop that in the chat here in a bit. And those of you that are watching the recording, feel free to reach out. So to start off, one of the huge benefits that we see from the program is collaboration between communities and Firewise communities. So we should be able to move through and just do a quick introduction. What I'll be asking is that if you could unmute, turn your video on when it's your turn, and share your name, your Firewise community name, and then just one sentence about your project. We don't need you to read the whole project description or anything like that. Just a quick idea of what your project is, so that everyone on the call can maybe see opportunities to network or reach out and expand their list of connections. So with that, I'll call a name. I got the list of everyone attending the meeting here. I apologize if I don't get your name right the first time. I'll do my best. But we'll start with Bob Anderson, and then we'll move on to Cambria. So Cambria will be next, but Bob, if you're there, if you could share your name, your Firewise community name, and just one sentence about your project, we'll move through the list of attendees like that, so we can all know what's going on. Go ahead, Bob. All right, maybe he's having some technical trouble. So Bob, if you get a chance to unmute, we'll fit you in right at the end. So Cambria, and then we'll move on to Chrissy. So Cambria, are you there and can give a little quick introduction?
Yeah, I am here. Hi, thank you for for the grant and for doing this. I am co-chair of the Firewise community in Lakewood in Grass Valley. And we are going to have 3 times, we're going to have a 40-yard green waste dumpster, which we had last year, which was incredibly popular and people really used it. And a chipper for 2 days and just gas for the chipper. And just, it's very basic, but it makes a big difference. So thank you.
Great, thank you, Chrissy. And then after Chrissy, we'll do Darren. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Hi, I'm Chrissy Freeman. I'm with the Lower Colfax Firewise community on off 174. And what we're going to do is in the old Coachway neighborhood, we're going to add 2 emergency turnouts on the gravel road that goes in that's this neighborhood to make it easier for firefighters to get in when people are trying to get out.
Perfect, thank you. Sounds like a great project. All right, Darren, and then Jan will follow up after Darren. Darren, go ahead.
Thanks, Josh. Yeah, I'm Darren Bew. I'm with the Florist and Firewise, and our project. So we've got 1 road in and 1 road out of Florist, and it's narrow and windy, and it's just horribly overgrown with flammable fuels. So we're going to use this funding to. We've got a crew with a big chipper, small hand crew, and big chipper lined up to start hacking and hewing as soon as the money hits the bank.
Great, thanks, Darren. We'll move to Jan, and then Joanne will follow Jan.
Hi, this is Jan Hedman, Greater Dalmatian 174, and we are going to use our micro grant to get green waste bins from Waste Management, and hopefully we'll be able to fill about 5 or 6 40 cubic yard bins with the money that we have allocated.
Great, thank you. We'll move to Joanne and then Leslie after Joanne.
Hi, I'm Joanne Fights Coffin, and I'm from the tiny salmon mine East Sages Firewise community. And we're going to do 3 things, probably 4 actually. 1, we're going to purchase a biochar ring that we'll be using in the neighborhood and loaning to other Firewise communities. Number 2, we're going to pay for a traffic control crew and an encroachment permit to clear along one of the key San Juan Ridge evacuation routes, Tyler Foot Road, which we did a couple years ago. And 3rd, we're going to do a small prescribed burn and clearing in an area along one of our shared routes. So we've just worked hard and it needs a little more. So we're going to be busy.
Great. Thanks, Joanne. All right, Leslie, and then we will move to Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Leslie Tenbor. Our Firewise community is Rattlesnake Neighborhood Association Firewise community. We applied, and thank you for the grant, we applied to clear along one edge of Bradford Road, which is at the upper western lip, let's say, of the Woodpecker Ravine project area. And it abuts a wide open sort of bicycle racetrack area that's pretty overgrown. So it'll be really nice for everyone to have a bigger buffer there.
Great, thank you.
Oh, it's mastication. I'm sorry. The neighbors will mark the trees they want to keep, and everything will be masticated along this strip that's up to a depth of 30 feet wide. And the neighbors met last week and we pulled Scotch broom on an area that was too sloped for the masticator, and that's been taken away to burn.
Great, thank you. All right, we'll move over to Lindsay, and we'll have Luis after Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Dunkel with Casa Loma Firewise, and I don't have an application in front of me, but I bet Sandy Houston does. But we're going to create some additional turnouts on Casa Loma, like one of the other Firewise communities was speaking about, and Sandy might add to that. We'll see.
Thanks, Lindsay. I saw a few others joined us. So those of you that have joined us, we're just going through quick introductions. We're sharing your name, the name of the Firewise community that you're a part of, a quick one sentence on your project description. So I think we left off with Lindsay, so we'll move over to Louise, and Mark will follow Louise. Go ahead, Lindsay.
I'm Louise Jones, and with me is my partner in crime, Donna Levitt. We're from the Lightning Tree Firewise community. That's located on the knoll of Washington Ridge. Most of our community lives on top of the ridge. Our biggest concern lately has been the condition of the side of the ridge. But we do have a road that runs along the side, and we made the decision to try to start turning it into a fire break. So this is our beginning of attacking the side of the ridge. What we're going to do is have a work party that will run this road. It's about a third to a half of a mile long, and pull down all the debris from the uphill side. We may even get some from the downhill side if it's easy. And we're going to hire a tree company with a big chipper, and they're going to come through after us and destroy all of that debris.
Great, thank you. Lindsay, did we get a chance to have you speak up or skip over you?
Yeah, you did.
Got sorry. I'm just trying to watch those names popping up and disappearing on me. It's freaking me out. All right, thank you. All right, Mark, can you go ahead and then we'll go to McFinn.
You bet. My name is Mark Winger. I am the Firewise director for the Rollins Park Road Association. Rollins Park Drive is off of Greenhorn Access Road off of 174 out near Rollins Lake. Our initial plan is to utilize roll-off dumpsters to clear brush off of many of our properties, including several elderly that we have on our road that we're going to use work crews to help them get cleared up.
Thanks, Mark. Then we'll move to McFinn and followed by Mo Garber. And then we'll catch anybody that I missed along the way.
Hello, everybody. My name is McFinn Levere. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. I'm from the Old Mill Firewise community, and we have Grizzly Hills School on our road. So we have 1.7 miles, and we have 156 people who need to evacuate, and our road is covered side to side with debris. And so we're hoping as much as 1.7 miles of the road that we can get. We did get a grant 2 years ago and we started, and now we're just going to continue. So thank you so much for the grant, because it really makes a difference, makes our people feel a little bit saner when they go to sleep at night.
Great, that's good to hear. All right, McFinn, sorry, Mo, go ahead.
Yep. Hi, I'm Maureen Mo Graber. I'm with the Banner Mountain Firewise community. It's nice to see the faces to go with the names. So we're very grateful for this grant. We see it doing multiple things for us. We have a very rough, unimproved private road up here at the top of Banner Mountain that services about 25 homes and 65 parcels. And it's very rough and rutted, the road itself, dirt, some old gravel, and has a lot of ladder fuels on both sides. So we're coordinating neighbors who haven't necessarily met each other before to come out on one day and cut a couple trees down, limb up some other trees, take out some ladder fuels in preparation for one of the neighbors has a tractor to come and kind of skim smooth that road. And then we're having gravel trucks come in to do 3 trailers of gravel, and then a water truck come after to kind of tamp that down and moisten it. So hopefully we get some good sticking power. So it's going to be a learning curve for all of us, but I'm very excited to meet this whole new group of neighbors and get them to start connecting and understanding they can rely on each other. So we're very grateful, and we hope to do good things. So thank you.
Perfect, thank you. I've got a couple other names on here. So could we move over to Nancy and then Sandra? Nancy, if you're here, you could go ahead. We're just asking about your name, your Firewise community name, and a quick sentence about your project.
Hey, I'm Nancy. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, thank you. I am the representative for the Lake City Grizzly Hill Firewise community on the Ridge. And we would like to share various shared private driveways that would serve as evacuation routes. We'll probably do the work ourselves if we can manage it and use the money for a chipper.
Thank you, Sandra. And then we'll move on to SBLOUCKS 317. Just got an email there. I can't see your name. So Sandra, why don't you kick it off and then we'll move on.
I'm Sandra with Casaloma Firewise Community, and we're very excited to have gotten this grant. We are going to be putting in as many as 8 emergency turnouts. Our roads are about a car and a half wide, so if a fire truck is going up or down them, which happens unfortunately often, there's not enough room for them in the car. So we're very excited to make these emergency turnouts on Woodpecker and Casaloma. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandra.
Josh?
Yes.
Yeah, this is Fred Lack. You can call. I'm on audio only. You can contact me when you're done. You can come to me when you're done.
All right, I'll put you on the list, Fred.
Thank you.
Sorry, I don't know your name. You got the email and your hand is up. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Sharon Laux. I'm with Squirrel Creek Ranches HOA, which is in Rough and Ready. We had a grant last time and we did a lot of nice road work. We're working on evacuation routes. This time we have 2 private roads that we're working on and our main road, which is Cook Road. And just chipping back and getting those ladder fuels and getting it all nice so that folks will be able to evacuate well. And thank you so much for the grant opportunity. We really appreciate it.
Great, thank you. All right, Tosca, I got your hands up. Your hand up. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the grant. I am part of the Foster Road Association Firewise community, and we are located between Union Hill School and Rattlesnake Road, right off 174. And it's a single lane road with about a dozen houses. And we need to improve access for fire trucks, reduce some of the canopy that's along the road, and then try to do some clearing that butts up against Highway 174. So we are planning on hiring a couple of people to help with the work crew, and then a chipper and another piece of equipment. I can't remember the name of it, but it will raise up some of the workers so they could trim off some of the trees.
Thanks for sharing. All right, let's move on to Fred, and then I see Kristen jumped on. I think Kristen Cook. Fred, you can go ahead.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you for the grant. We really appreciate it. I'm associated with the Sierra Hills Firewise community down here in South County, close to Lake of the Pines. Our project is to go up and trim our canopy over a road on Ranchero way south, which is about a 1.2 mile length. Provide access for the taller fire trucks and to remove all the hindrance in that for transportation up there.
Wonderful, thanks, Fred. Kristen, I see you got your hands up. Are you ready to share?
Yes, thank you, Joshua. I'm Kristen Cook. I head up the You Bet Firewise community, and the grant is appreciated by 100% of the community because we're going to use it for a new radio, GMRS radio repeater system. And we launched our GMRS radio program about 2 years ago, and it was kind of a test to see if it would reach our 14,000 acres and 700 parcels. We're geographically the largest in the county. And it doesn't work, the radios don't work without a repeater. So we installed a temporary kind of a 30-year-old Kenwood as a Band-Aid to see if the test would work. And now we have about 100 people on the radio system, which we use for evacuation notification and local fire notification. And so we're going into our third fire season, and this new repeater will allow us to have better transmission quality. There's some more advanced features, you know, because it's modern, state of the art. And it has literally become a lifeline to those of us who live off our 9-mile one-way in, one-way out road. So we're incredibly grateful. We're excited that it qualified under the equipment category for this grant, and we're beyond thrilled. So thank you.
Thanks, Kristen. See, there's a few other phone numbers that have called in. I'm not sure if that's people who are already on and reported. They're just getting their audio that way. Is there anyone else that hasn't had a chance to introduce themselves? We're asking for your name, the name of your Firewise community, and a quick one sentence on your project.
Yeah, Josh, this is Dennis Davis. I'm with the Tola Ridge Firewise Association, and we're here and we're really happy to receive that grant. Basically, we're trying to improve our ingress and egress of our community of about 13 parcels of 10 to 20 acres. And right now we've got a very steep ravine that needs to be cleared up and get all the ladder fuels out, and we're hiring Perry's Tree Service to get in there and do it. It's probably a 28 to 30 degree slope, so we're really happy to get that done.
Great, thank you. Anyone else who would like to share? Okay, thanks everybody for sharing a little bit about your projects. It's great to hear. We're excited to see them move forward. Let's move into a little bit about project safety with Alex Keebletoll and collaboration opportunities.
All righty, can you guys all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. My audio seems to be cutting in and out. So, well, thank you guys all so much for being here. I will just say that it is so exciting to see the diversity in projects that everyone has applied for. I mean, it really just shows that you guys know what your communities need the most. So not all of these safety tips will apply because many of you are doing education or other opportunities that don't specifically involve on the ground work. We did try to scope this overall program so that you'd be able to do your on the ground work in advance of fire season, but we recognize that's completely situationally dependent. So we just wanted to make sure to touch briefly on, you know, some safety tips so that we make sure that when we're out here trying to improve wildfire resilience, we aren't inadvertently creating additional problems. So I'm going to drop a bunch of different links in the chat. First, just tips on safe equipment use. As things start to heat up, let's make sure that we're doing our work before 10 a.m., that we're mindful of having a water source and other suppression tools nearby. You know, lawnmowers are generally not as safe as string trimmers for clearing vegetation just because of the propensity for a lawnmower to spark off of a rock. And just really be mindful of removing dead and dying vegetation when you're out there doing your work. I know several of you mentioned a desire to burn as a way to either do some prescribed fire or get rid of biomass. CAL FIRE has some great resources in terms of making sure, you know, to be mindful of tips before your burn. Do make sure you've got that burn permit. Make sure you're checking with Northern Sierra Air Quality Management District to make sure it's a permissible burn day. And then there's a link in there for a lovely video from CAL FIRE about having a safe burn pile. As far as red flag warnings go, let's make sure that we're mindful of what red flag days are, that we're being very aware of strong winds, high temperatures, low humidity, dry fuels, and dry lightning. So I'm going to drop some more information in there on this. And I know you guys are really, as Firewise leaders, the experts on this, but it's just always good to have those reminders when we get excited about going out and actually getting this work done. Finally, in terms of collaboration, I recognize, you know, tons of you guys and know that you're aware of our virtual office hours, but I did want to make sure that if you're not aware, OES hosts bi-weekly virtual office hours. A number of those short films that you were asked to watch as part of your application process come out of virtual office hours. It's a great opportunity to get together with like-minded community members, maybe learn something new, ask some questions. We don't profess to be the experts on all the topics of virtual office hours, but we do like to bring in experts to talk about different things and just use it as a collaborative opportunity to have the conversation. So if you are not familiar with virtual office hours, go ahead and email us at oes@nevadacountycalifornia.gov and we'll get you on that list. When you're on the virtual office hours list, you do have access to all the pre-recorded virtual office hours dating back, gosh, it's been more than a year now. So there's quite the library there for different topics. And then finally, I know a number of you are talking about green waste bins and the utilization of those bins to clear things up in your neighborhood. Did want to make sure that you guys are aware of some green waste opportunities that we have available now at OES for Firewise communities. So I'm dropping in the chat the link to our green waste page because we have a number of different exciting ways for folks to address biomass on their property as we move into the spring. And that's basically what I've got. And I think we can entertain questions at the end, Josh, if folks have questions when we finish up.
Yep,
Yeah,
that sounds
okay.
good. Thanks, Alex.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to move quickly into just talking a little bit about project reporting, which is pretty simple. I got just a few slides to show, kind of help me keep me on track here. All this information was shared in your actual application when you were submitting, so we're not going to share anything new that you probably haven't read already. But essentially, we're asking for you to contact us within 90 days of being funded. And that's going to be through email at that email that Alex just dropped into the chat, which is oes@nevadacountyca.gov. So when you contact us, we're hoping to hear either two things. One, if for some reason your project needs to be delayed for whatever reason has come up, so sometimes contractors aren't available or weather gets in the way, that within 90 days of being funded, you let us know, you give us a reason, hey, this is going on, and we need an extension on our time. So please give us a reason why you need to delay or move back the deadline of 90 days, and then give us an estimated timeline. We understand that there's a lot of things that can get in the way, and we're absolutely willing to work with you, but we'd like to hear from you within 90 days. So please don't let that amount of time go past without reaching out to us. The other thing is that we'd be hearing from you on is just a full project report out. And so I'll talk a little bit about what that means, but we'd ask if you do complete your project within the 90 days, which the last time we ran this, a huge majority of the communities were able to complete their projects relatively quickly within the time frame. So I think that'll probably be the majority of you, is that the first time we hear from you is there going to be a report out saying we got our project done, and this is what we would like that to look like. So be sending an email to oes@nevadacountyca.gov. And once your project is complete, we're hoping to hear about it within about 10 days. So once you get funded and you go out and you wrap up your project, maybe it takes you a month. Once that project is done, we're hoping that you'll send us a report within 10 days. And that should contain a short summary. We're not looking for pages and pages of information, just at least a paragraph or two describing how things went. And that should include some metrics. And we understand these are estimated metrics, but it could be amount of vegetation removed, the type of vegetation, the length of roadside cleared or improved, the area that you cleared, so an estimation on acres. And like I said already, a description of what you removed. You could also talk to us or list the number of educational materials that you sent out. That all helps us with our tracking on how these funds were used. And then please give us at least 3 pictures of the completed project. We'd love to have more if you have those. And it's the best quality that you have. Generally, though, as a smartphone gives really good high quality pictures. We understand sometimes emailing those, you might have to compress them down, but if you could just give us the best quality you can, that'd be great. Because we really like to share that with, like I said, the Board of Supervisors, the community broadly about what you all are doing, because it's pretty exciting. With that, those are the things that we'd ask for as far as a project report. So please remember to reach out to us within 90 days. That could either be with a project report or a request for more time. And then if you're going to send us a report, and when you do, it's a short summary, some metrics about what you were able to complete, and 3 pictures. With that, I'm going to hand it over to Jessica Carr from SBC. SBC has been a great partner for the county in this. They ran the whole website and application portal, so we're really thankful that they're here. And so Jessica, I think, had just one request of you all before she starts sending out funds. And then we'll wrap it up and open it up for questions. Go ahead, Jessica.
Thanks, Josh. Hi, everybody. I am going to send an email like this afternoon, right after this call, just asking you to confirm that your information is correct that was in the portal. So the 2 things we're looking for is the name of who the check should be made out to, and then the mailing address. So I'll send an email with instructions on how to check that. If it's confusing or you lost your password or whatever, I can check it for you and email that information to you. So just call me or respond back to the email I send, or check it yourself and just say, hey, that's good to go. It's best if you can email me back and confirm, but if I hear nothing, I will just proceed. So thank you.
Great, thanks, Jessica. All right, who has questions? You can either raise your hand or speak up. Kristen, I see your hands raised. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if this applies to my grant specifically, but it kind of came up last time we did the micro grants. So if I was doing, I had submitted a grant for vegetation removal, let's say with the chipper and sundry other equipment, and I wanted to change the equipment or tools that I was using, but it's still vegetation removal in the same place. Do I need to get approval for that, or can I just switch it out?
So I would say if you're going to change anything from your project proposal, because that's really what we're basing the funding off of. We're saying, hey, we're going to send out this funding to complete this, and we're using your project proposal and your application to define that. If there's a significant change in any of that information, please let us know ahead of time.
Okay.
And just to clarify, you're doing the GMRS system, is that correct?
Yeah.
Or are you?
But
okay.
The last time we did this, I was told there could have been some changes made, but I was unaware that I could have made changes. So I just wanted to bring it up.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't say that all changes would be authorized. But
Understood.
if you could, yeah, reach out to us ahead of time and explain the situation, that'll help us work with you on how to get the project done.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right. Chrissy, I think your hand's up next. Go ahead.
Thanks. I have 2 questions that I think apply generally. One is when you say when about to whom the check should be made out. We've been a little confused about that. Like, is that to just whichever member of our Firewise community is going to be heading up this project? Is it to the person who is the leader of our Firewise community? So that's the one question. And the one is, I noticed in the grant application, it was like, the grant is for exactly this amount of money. When we send back the report with the expenditures, is it supposed to total exactly that amount of money? Like if it's $10 less, not more, but $10 less or $20 less, do we send back a check for the difference? If you could clarify those 2 things, that'd be great.
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Whoever was the applicant, so the person who wrote the application, like who created an account and then wrote the application under that name, is the one who the check would be made out to. So if that's going to be different for your Firewise community, or you prefer it to be a different name, or if your Firewise community happens to have a bank account, then that would be something I'd love for you to email me.
Great. Thanks, Jessica. I'll take the second question around reporting what was expended. We currently, in our reporting requirements, are not asking for you to send in receipts, invoices, anything like that. the fundamental idea behind the project is that we're sending out the $3,600 to fund whatever project that you applied for. So I think if there's any way that you can further your project, if you were, for example, $10 short, if you could find a way to spend $10 to further that project that you applied for, that would be the intent. If you really get stuck and you have a lot of money or a significant amount of money that you can't find a way to spend, and I'd say reach out to us and we'll work with you on it. But the intent was that the funds that we're sending out go directly towards the project that was proposed. And I know that maybe sometimes that's not always perfect, but feel free to reach out if you want to work through some of that. And just a reminder, we aren't currently asking for maybe an itemized list of what you bought as a reporting requirement. The intent is that the money funds your project. And then along the lines of what you agreed to or the applicant agreed to, I think there's messaging in there about using the funds only for that purpose. And so we're believing that whoever applied agreed to that and they're going to follow through. Is there any other questions on that? Okay, thanks. Leslie, your hand was up, number 3. Go ahead.
Hi, my question's actually for Tosca Beanie, because I was taking notes on Firewise communities near us, and I did not catch what yours was called.
Oh, it's Foster Road.
Okay, thank you. You're right near me somewhere.
Right. I heard a couple of you speak. I mean, we're all in the same area.
That's great. Thank
Great.
you.
You're welcome.
Great. Just one note on that. We're going to be listing on our website, on the OES website, within a week or so, the list of awardees. And I believe there's probably a map. I know the Fire Safe Council holds that. And if you don't have a map of where Firewise communities are in our county, just send an email to us and we can send you one. All right, Cambria, I think you were next with your hand up.
Yeah, my co-chair Stacy Finns had written the grant application, and I just texted her to ask her where she's having the check go. And maybe this is a question for Jessica. I just want to make sure if you send an email out, one of us gets it to confirm. So should I just call you later to find out what she put on the application so we make sure that one of us receives it?
Yeah, so the email will go out to whatever email address was used to apply in the grant portal. So you would have, if you've received other emails that were like deadline approaching or the approval email with the invitation to this, then you'll get this email as well.
Okay, so Stacy will probably, maybe she'll get, because we have a Firewise email, but I think it maybe is just going to go to her personal email. Is that, if that's what she used?
Yeah, whichever she used, it would be the one. But I'm happy to forward it to whoever needs it.
That's fine. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, Sandra, are you next with your hand up?
Yes, I was just wondering with the metrics that we're going to be providing, did you also want us to give how many volunteer hours ultimately were put into the project?
That would be wonderful. We did ask that you estimate that on the front end with your application, but we would really value, any metrics if you have a closer idea of how many hours were put into the project. We'd love to see that in the report. It's not a listed requirement, but we'd love to see that. All right, I believe the next person is Jan. If you have already had your question answered and can lower your hand, that would help me a little bit so I can kind of sort through, but I believe Jan, you're next.
Thanks, Craig. Yeah, I have a question regarding the listing of all of the grant award Firewise communities. Is there going to be contact information for all of us on that? Because I know it's been difficult to get Firewise leader information through the Firewise Council because the NFPA doesn't allow them to share that. So I just thought it'd be really helpful to be able to actually reach out to other people.
Yeah, I believe last time we did this, we sent out a survey, which we'll probably do again, which to all of you, asking if you would like to or give you permission to have your information shared. And then Alessandra, the wildfire coordinator, the county wildfire coordinator, will probably send that out. But we will probably stop short of sharing information if someone hasn't given us permission.
Sure.
And that'll probably be done in the next couple weeks here. But you will be able to see the list of Firewise communities that were awarded on the website, but there won't be a contact information attached.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Lindsay, you have a question?
Yeah, when you have that, the projects listed on the website, I wondered if you would be willing to put the pictures there too when you get them, just because I think these projects are inspirational and it'd be great to be able to see what people are doing and share those with our community.
It's a great idea. Alex, I think, will be handling some publication of completed projects over social media. Do you know if there's any plans to do anything on the website at this point, Alex?
So not specifically offhand at this moment, but I'm glad you brought up the social media piece, Josh, because I know many of you got this award last year, but what we love to do is really raise the visibility of the great work that you're doing. And so for us, being able to post on Facebook pictures of before and after and some of those metrics, Sandra, that you were mentioning around like how many volunteer hours, you know, what did you actually accomplish? Those are just those success stories that we love to share. And I would like to do micro grant Mondays again as these projects start to complete, just so that we can share with not just the community, but other Firewise community leaders like, hey, this is what was important for this community, and this is what they were able to accomplish with a $3,600 investment.
Thanks, Alex. I see Jan and Lindsay, you have your hands up, but I think we got to you. So if you have another question, feel free to unmute and ask. And if someone else out there has a question that you can't figure out the hand thing, which I know is frustrating sometimes, just feel free to unmute and go ahead and ask. All right. Thank you all for the great questions and all the interaction, and thanks for taking the time to propose and submit your application. We're really excited to see your projects move forward and get the reports soon. If you have any questions, feel free to email us at the OES at nevadacountyca.gov. With that, I think we'll wrap it up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. What a wonderful program. Pleasure to see all your smiling faces. See you in 2 years. We'll get another grant.